Hi guys, JT here. Today I'm bringing you some information on Humble Bundle Warhammer Skulls Bundle of May 2026 to help you answer the question, should you buy it? By using the links in the description below, you'll gain access to this bundle and support the channel and the process. Before I begin, I'd like to thank you the viewers for watching my videos. I hope they're helpful. Most importantly, knowing that you're watching it means the world. Anyway, let's get into this. And number 1 we have Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector, a turn-based strategy game set in the Warhammer 40k universe, focusing on the Blood Angels Space Marines. This game offers a detailed and immersive tactical experience. You'll find Battlesector refreshing if you're tired of the real-time strategy format dominating 40k games. The game brings back the classic turn-based strategy style, allowing you to carefully plan each move and savor every tactical decision. In Battlesector, you can command not only the Blood Angels, but also the Tyranids, the fearsome alien foes. The single-player campaign lets you unlock Sisters of Battle, adding variety to your army. Each faction has unique momentum mechanics, which add depth to the gameplay. For instance, the Blood Angels gain momentum the closer they are to enemies, while the Tyranids benefit from staying in clustered swarms. The game's graphics vividly capture the Warhammer 40k aesthetic with red deserts, ruined cathedrals, and imposing statues. The narrative is equally engaging, with characters delivering tough guy lines that enhance the gothic atmosphere. However, you might find the story assumes some familiarity with Warhammer 40k lore, which can be confusing if you're not up to date. While the tactical gameplay is satisfying, certain elements like the repetitive unit management and unpredictable cover mechanics might detract from your experience. The audio, although immersive, can become repetitive over extended play. Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector offers a rich and evocative tactical experience, blending strategic depth with the grim-dark atmosphere of the 40k universe. Despite its minor flaws, it's a must-play for any fan of the franchise. And number 2 we have Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor Martyr, an action RPG set in the 41st millennium, blending the Warhammer universe with Diablo-style gameplay. You play as an Inquisitor, choosing from 3 classes, Crusader, Psyker, or Assassin, each bringing its own combat style. Your mission? Dive into the Martyr, a colossal space monastery overrun by cultists and demons, and purge the heresy. Combat revolves around your gear, with each weapon or piece of armor granting different abilities. Swapping weapons mid-mission resets cooldowns, which can be frustrating in intense fights. Some weapons, like the Thunderhammer and Shotgun, feel underwhelming, leaving you stuck with poor choices until the mission ends. There's a ton of content, from side quests to a PvP mode, co-op missions, and investigations, but the sheer amount of mechanics can feel overwhelming. Power rating becomes a literal gear check, forcing you to constantly upgrade your equipment to survive. The NPC companions offer some enjoyable banter, and the environments are rich with the dark, gothic atmosphere that Warhammer is known for. However, repetitive enemies and lengthy missions can make the gameplay feel stale. Martyr shines when it hits the right combination of gear and atmosphere, but a clunky system and redundant features weigh it down. If you're a Warhammer fan craving action RPG elements, you'll find fun moments here, but they're spread thin across a sprawling, sometimes frustrating experience. And number 3 we have Warhammer 40k Dakka Squadron Flyboyz Edition, a PC port of a mobile game that attempts to deliver an arcade-style shooter experience in the Warhammer 40k universe. You pilot an orc fighter plane, shooting and smashing through the skies in chaotic dogfights. However, the game stumbles right out of the gate. The controls are frustrating, especially for those prone to motion sickness. Every time you adjust your heading, the camera zooms in and out, making it difficult to maintain situational awareness, especially during intense dogfights. This issue feels like a leftover from its mobile origins, where performance limitations may have justified this odd camera design. Graphically, the game disappoints with bland color palettes and draw distance haze, making it hard to see details, particularly in the desert biome. The user interface, a relic of the mobile version, clutters the center of the screen, further reducing visibility. While the orc lore and humor are entertaining, gameplay frustrations such as overly long missions and collision mechanics that punish you more than your enemies make the experience less enjoyable. The pacing feels off, with drawn-out boss battles and missions that seem to last forever due to inflated enemy health bars. If you're a hardcore Warhammer 40k fan, there are some fun orc moments here, but overall Dakka Squadron Flyboyz Edition struggles to deliver a satisfying flight combat experience. At number 4 we have Warhammer 40,000 Gladius, Relics of War, a turn-based 4-act strategy game set in the grim darkness of the Warhammer 40k universe. You lead one of 4 distinct factions, Astra Militarum, Space Marines, Orcs, or Necrons, in the relentless battle for dominance on the war-torn planet Gladius Prime. As you take control, you'll quickly realize this is not your typical 4X game. There is no diplomacy here, just brutal warfare. Building and expanding cities, researching powerful technologies, and commanding diverse units are your tools to outmaneuver and obliterate your enemies. Each faction offers unique playstyle, ensuring playability as you explore their distinct abilities and storylines. The game thrives on its combat-focused design, offering tactical depth without bogging you down in excessive micromanagement. Randomly generated maps and threatening wildlife add layers of unpredictability, keeping you on your toes. The aesthetics and lore-rich setting immerse you in the iconic Warhammer 40k universe, making each battle feel significant. However, the game's reliance on paid DLC to unlock additional factions and content can feel restrictive. While the base game is solid, some players might find the paywall frustrating, especially given the high cost of expansion packs. If you're a fan of Warhammer 40k or turn-based strategy games, Gladius delivers an engaging and action-packed gameplay. Just be prepared to either stick with the base factions or invest in the extras to get the full experience. In a bundle, the base game is a compelling addition to your library. At number 5 we have Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor Prophecy, a standalone action RPG expansion set in the grimdark universe of Warhammer 40k. You take on the role of a tech-adept Inquisitor, tasked with purging heretics and Xenos in the troubled Caligari sector. This expansion brings a new playable class, the Tech Adept, who summons and enhances mechanical units to fight alongside you, offering a unique twist on typical ARPG gameplay. While you don't need to own the base game Inquisitor Martyr, it helps to be familiar with its mechanics, as many elements carry over. The gameplay is a mix of exploration, combat, and investigation, with a fast-paced and intense focus on exterminating enemies like the Tyranids and Aldari. The game features destructible environments, a revamped leveling system, and co-op missions, making it ideal if you enjoy team-based action or replayability. The story continues through 3 new chapters, including one solely focused on your Tech Adept's quests, giving you a more tailored narrative experience. On the downside, it lacks the polish of bigger ARPG titles like Diablo, with some players reporting occasional bugs and crashes in co-op mode. However, if you're a fan of the Warhammer 40k universe, the lore-rich settings and attention to detail in enemy designs will keep you hooked. Overall, it's a solid choice for any Warhammer fan looking for a new ARPG adventure. At number 6 we have Blood Bowl 2 Legendary Edition, a turn-based fantasy sports game based on a board game by Games Workshop. You play the Reichland Reavers, a legendary human team that has seen better days, and you must guide them to glory. This game features 2 different modes, Story Mode where you play the aforementioned story, and Eternal League Mode where you can play any team and endlessly play through seasons upon seasons of the game. This game is not easy, at least at first, and you'll find yourself losing match after match. This can be a slight turn-off to some, as each game is long, and if you want some instant gratification, you won't find it here. But if you stick with the game, it is extremely rewarding. This game is basically an ultra-violent American football. Each team consists of 11 players, and you must move around the board based on the game's rules. There's a dice that commands your RNG. This dice is rolled when you decide to tackle or pick up a ball. This RNG is modified based on the strength and agility of each player on your team. Your players can also be knocked over, knocked out, injured, or even stunned. This act of violence on the field is rewarded with a reward and level up system for players that are really good at hurting others. So if you're a school bully, you'll be rewarded in this game as opposed to being punished for hurting others. So it's not just about getting the ball from point A to point B, it can also be about physically taking out the entire opposing team so there's no opposition to even play the game. These rules also apply to the multiplayer aspect of the game that will see your team beating the other team up as opposed to playing the game fair and square. It's just part of the game. While this game may not be for everyone, seeing that it is quite a slow board game, it does offer an excellent mix of luck and judgment that allows players to minimize randomness. It is definitely worth giving a try in this bundle. At number 7 we have Space Hulk Classic, a 3D digital turn-based tactical game that faithfully recreates a classic claustrophobic 1989 board game experience. Controlling squads of Blood Angel Space Marines, clad in heavy Terminator armor, your mission is to purge deadly Tyranid gene stealers infesting the Sin of Damnation, a derelict vessel drifting through the warp. The gameplay is a tense, grid-based tactical nightmare where corridors are only 1 tile wide. Each Marine receives 4 action points per turn to move, turn, or shoot. Because of the narrow hallways, squad positioning is critical. You cannot pass through your own units. To aid your strategy, you roll a die each turn for a shared pool of 1 to 6 command points to spend on emergency actions. Your primary defense is setting Marines on Overwatch to shoot automatically during the alien turn, but your bolters frequently jam, costing precious AP to clear. If the fast-moving Gene Stealers close the distance, your Marines face a brutal melee disadvantage unless equipped with a specialized close combat weapon. Compounding the tension, the enemy initially appears as radar blips representing up to 3 hidden aliens, forcing constant guesswork. While Full Control's adaptation lacks a soundtrack, custom loadouts, or unit progression, the core mechanical loop is highly addictive. The addition of a grainy first-person camera feed for each Marine enhances the grim atmosphere. If you enjoy deep chess-like sci-fi strategy where a single jam gun can trigger a total squad wipeout, this challenging title is well worth the price of admission. And that's all for this bundle. This bundle is honestly absolute cheeks. Sure, scoring Battlesector and Inquisitor Martyr for a $10 split is decent value if you're a total newbie, but for veterans, this loot pool is pure filler. They literally bundled Gladius, which is free to claim on Steam right now. Talk about a major bait. With no heavy hitters like Space Marine 2 or Dark Tide, this feels like a lazy rebundle. Skip the tier list, it's a total pass. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if this video was helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and maybe consider buying the channel a coffee. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.